My sister had 5 children in just 4 years, but what happened after her last surgery still haunts me today.
The hospital corridor in Kumasi felt colder than usual at night. I could hear machines beeping inside the emergency room. Doctors and nurses were moving quickly, but outside everything felt painfully slow. My mother sat on a bench, quietly praying. Kwame stood near the wall, staring at the floor like a man waiting for a bus, not like a man whose wife was fighting for her life. I walked up to him again. My voice was shaking. What happened in that house, Kwame? He didn't answer. He just rubbed his hands together nervously. My chest tightened. Before I could press him further, the emergency room door opened. A nurse stepped out. Family of Abana, she asked. We all stood up immediately. She's lost a lot of blood, the nurse said. The doctors are trying to stabilize her. My mother started crying softly, but something about the nurse's tone told me the situation was worse than she was saying. A few hours later, the doctor allowed me to see Abana. She was lying on the hospital bed, looking fragile. Tubes connected to her arms, her face pale. For a moment, I couldn't recognize the strong sister I grew up with. I sat beside her and held her hand gently. Abana, I whispered. Her eyes opened slowly. When she saw me, tears rolled down her cheeks. What happened? I asked softly. She closed her eyes for a moment, as if gathering strength to speak, so I leaned closer to listen. Then she spoke words that still echo in my mind. Kwame, my husband, said if I refused him intimacy again, he would bring another woman into the house. He said a real wife doesn't deny her husband. She must give in any time his husband wants it, she continued. I told him the doctor said I needed time, at least 3 months more, before I could be intimate. But he said I was making excuses. Tears were sliding down her face now. I was afraid, Akusuya. Afraid? My sister, who had carried 5 children in 4 years, was afraid of losing her marriage. I didn't want my children to grow up in a broken home, she continued. So I agreed. I went to the bathroom afterwards and there was blood everywhere. I don't remember anything else. Tears blurred my vision. How long have you been going through this? I asked her. She looked at me with tired eyes. For years. Years? That word hit me like a stone. She continued softly. After every delivery, it was the same. My husband never wants to wait. He always wants to be intimate with me just after 2 weeks after delivery. The longest he can go without intimacy is only 1 month. After that, if I refuse him, he threatens to leave me and the children. I kept quiet because I wanted my marriage to survive. The machines beside her suddenly started beeping faster. A nurse rushed into the room. Please step outside, she told me quickly. I stood there frozen for a moment, but the nurse gently guided me out. The door closed behind me. Minutes passed, then more doctors entered the room. My mother was crying louder now. Kwame still stood quietly near the wall, not saying a word. Finally, after what felt like forever, the doctors walked out. I already knew the answer before he spoke. I'm sorry, he said. We did everything we could. And just like that, 5 children lost their mother that night. The youngest one was only a newborn. When we brought the children home, days later, the house felt painfully quiet. The baby cried all night. The older ones kept asking the same question. Where is mommy? And none of us had the courage to answer. Sometimes society tells women something dangerous. Endure it, be patient, protect your marriage. But nobody talks about the cost. Today, 5 innocent children are growing up without their mother. And the painful question that still remains is this. How many women are silently enduring the same thing just to keep their marriage? Because the truth is simple. Marriage is not a license to control somebody's body. And no woman should ever have to choose between her life and her marriage. Sometimes the bravest thing a woman can do is to choose herself. Please, if you like this story, don't forget to comment and follow for me. Thank you very much for watching.